Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and things are going to get really interesting and slightly confusing now because we're going to be talking about the Demons of Chaos, another legacy faction in Warhammer the Old World where things have actually changed for the better. There's even some new units too, which, yep, I was actually really surprised. So let's jump right in. I'm not exactly sure when this is coming in. I've just got the embargo for today and I think it's releasing today, but if not, you can ask as many questions as you want. I'll happily answer them. But yeah, let's jump in and talk about the Demons of Chaos. Alright, we're going to talk about the roster first, and a lot of things are really weird here. So, when we look towards the characters, you can have up to 50% once again, and that is 0 to 1 greater demons. That could be of Khorne, of Nurgle, Slaanesh, or Tzeentch, but there is of course a limit there, and it continues. There's going to be a lot of weird limits here. So 0 to 1 demonic heralds of Khorne, Nurgle, Slaanesh, or Tzeentch per unit with the same demonic alignment. So if you have 2 bloodletters or 2 of any demons of Khorne, for example, then you could bring 2 heralds of Khorne. And then finally, 1 demon prince per 1,000 points. Now, this is where things get a little bit curious, so I'm going to be changing things around by color on the text, I think, just to make it a little bit more easy to distinguish. So for core, 25% of your points must be spent on core, and your basic only core unit is your Chaos Furies. However, if your general is a demon of Khorne, Bloodletters and Fleshhounds can be taken as core choices. If your general is a demon of Nurgle, then Plague Bearers and Nurglings may be taken as core choices. If your general is a demon of Slaanesh, then you may take Demonettes and Seekers as core choices. And finally, and this is where the exciting stuff comes in, if your general is a demon of Tzeentch, then you may take Pink Horrors, Blue Horrors, and Brimstone Horrors as core choices. Yes, Brimstone and Blue Horrors are 4 units now, rather than just that weird token system that we used to have in Warhammer Fantasy. Now, if we go into special, this is where things get a little bit weird once again. So, if you've got an undivided demon prince, or if you want a mono god and stuff, you can have Bloodletters, Fleshhounds, Plague Bearers, Nurglings, Demonettes, Seekers, Pink Horrors, Blue Horrors, and Brimstone Horrors as special units. But if your general is a demon of Khorne, you may take Blood Crushers as a special choice, that's 50%. If your general is a demon of Nurgle, then you can bring Beasts of Nurgle and Plague Drones as special choices. If your general is a demon of Slaanesh, then you may bring Fiends, Hellflayers, and Seeker Chariots as special choices. And if your general is a demon of Tzeentch, then you can bring Flamers, Screamers as special choices too. Now, if you're trying to go for a mono-god style listing, so not going with a direct theme, then they get moved to rare. So rare is Blood Crushers, Beasts of Nurgle, Plague Drones, Fiends, Hellflayers, Seekers, Flamers, Screamers, Burning Chariots, and Soul Grinders are here too. And finally, 1 Skull Cannon of Khorne per 1,000 points. I know this might sound really curious and weird and strange and so on, but actually what this means is that you can actually mono-god stuff now, which is great because you'll be seeing a mono-god battle report very soon on this channel. And the first battle report, the standard one, will actually be coming out in a few days' time too. I wouldn't be surprised if you see mono-god battle reports appearing for all the different types of roster types here, and I've been super enjoying it. I've really loved this idea. It just feels so good. It's good to see that Soul Grinders remain because, well, you guys know I've been painting up a Plague Hulk. And don't you worry, Palanquins, Blood Thrones, and Exalted Seeker Chariots are still a thing, it's just their mount options. Exalted Seeker Chariots being a mount option for your demonic Herald of Slaanesh on a 50 by 100, no, 100 by 150, sorry, I was looking at the normal Seeker Chariots, but you're probably better using them on the smaller ones. It very much depends on your styling, though. Before we move on to anything else, let's talk about the 2 new units, because Blue Horrors are a unit now. Movement 4, Weapon Skill 2, Ballistic Skill 3, Strength 3, Toughness 3, 1 wound each, Initiative 1, 1 attack, Leadership 7, and 9 points per model, with a champion being 6 points per model getting an extra attack. They're not the best units, but the idea is to have some cheap chaff at the front, which is quite nice considering that the pinks are 12 points. You can get a cheaper one coming in, and these ones are on 25mm bases, by the way. They're on smaller bases, whereas the pinks are on 30s. Then, when we look towards the Brimstone Horrors, these are a swarm, so 40 by 40 base, and you have to bring them in groups of 2+, but these are Movement 5, Weapon Skill 2, Ballistic Skill 2, Strength 2, Toughness 3, 6 wounds each, Initiative 2, 4 attacks, Leadership 5, and 38 points per model. what the purpose of these are is basically just to be a, they hold down the enemy, and that's going to be the best thing that you can do. Getting a swarm unit, especially for Tzeentch, is going to be very useful for you. It's kind of nice to see that. It's really weird to see this happen. I wasn't expecting this, considering that we've seen other factions lose out on stuff, but hey, take the win, right? Demons are finally getting a few more demons. It's a massive shame we're not getting Plague Toads, though, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Alright, we're going to talk about special rules now because there's quite a few things to talk about. The first one being Cleaving Blow. If a model with a special rule rolls a natural 6 when making a roll to wound for an attack made in combat, it has struck a Cleaving Blow. Enemy models whose troop type is regular infantry, heavy infantry, light cavalry, heavy cavalry, or war beasts are not permitted an armor or regeneration save against a Cleaving Blow. You can still do ward saves though. Next we have Demonic, so models with a special rule are Demonic. All Demonic models have a 5 upward save against any wounds suffered that were caused by non-magical enemy attacks. In addition, all Demonic models have the following universal special rules: Demonic Instability, Fear, Immune to Psychology, Magical Attacks, Unbreakable, and Warp Spawned. So yeah, this is pretty much the usual things, but the thing with Demonic Instability is as follows. If a unit with this special rule loses a round of combat, it must make a leadership test before it gives ground, with +1 modifier to the result for every combat result point by which it's lost, so kind of like the undead factions, right? If the test is passed, all is well. If the test is failed, the unit loses a number of wounds equal to the amount by which it has failed the test. If the unit contains any characters, allocate all the wounds to the unit until there's only characters remaining and then divide them between the characters, if there's multiple characters, of course. If this test is failed on a roll of a natural double 6, the unit is dragged back into the ether and the unit is immediately removed from play. So if you roll a double 6, yeah, your unit is gone. Finally, we got Demonic Locus. Friendly units with the same demonic alignment as this model reduce the number of wounds suffered due to the Demonic Instability special rule by 1 whilst within 12 inches of this model. In addition, friendly units with the same demonic alignment as this model that roll a natural double 6 when making a leadership test for Demonic Instability whilst within 12 inches of this model are not immediately removed from play. Instead, they lose a number of wounds equal to the amount that they failed the test. So this is pretty much your BSB. As BSBs also still remain with your Herald, and yeah, you're pretty much golden there. Next thing is Demonic Favor X, because there's a different few values. A unit with this special rule reduces the number of wounds suffered due to Demonic Instability special rule by the number shown as the bracket. So if you're supposed to take 3 wounds, for example, to your leadership, but you've got the Infernal Favor 2, you'll only take 1 wound instead of the 3. And this is actually quite important to note, that your units could be linked up there, so you could have a character which has a higher value. Well, that also affects that unit too. And then we have to talk about Demonic Alignment with its own set of special rules. Essentially, Demonic Alignment is, well, you know, your alignment for your specific god. Demons of Khorne will have specific special rules that Demons of Slaanesh won't have. There are some restrictions, so let's talk about those first. A model cannot have more than 1 demonic alignment. All models within a unit must have the same demonic alignment, meaning that a Herald of Khorne cannot join a unit of Plague Bearers. Nor could you have a unit of Furies with mixed alignment. That does not exist. And a character with no demonic alignments can actually join a unit as normal. So an undivided Demon Prince, which by the way exists again, it's pretty weird. Well, I mean, it's been happening in Age of Sigmar and 40k, but it just, with how Warhammer Fantasy lore works, it doesn't really make sense, but hey, you know, it's a little bit more freedom. Yeah, you can have a undivided Demon Prince join whatever unit you want. Further to that, we can talk about the special rules. So, for example, Demons of Khorne have their own alignment, which means that they have hatred for the Demons of Slaanesh. In addition, during a turn in which it's made a charge, Demons of Khorne get 1 extra strength, but not their mounts though. So the Blood Crushers, yeah, I mean, they're still good, but the Juggernauts won't be as good. Demons of Nurgle get hatred Demons of Tzeentch. In addition, any enemy model that directs its attack against a Demon of Nurgle must reroll any natural to hit rolls of 6. Again, pretty good, very durable, and I've been favoring Nurgle a lot lately, which is kind of weird. And then we've got my special and favorite Chaos God, so Demons of Slaanesh. They have hatred of Demons of Khorne. In addition, Demons of Slaanesh increase their maximum possible charge range by 1 inch and have a +1 modifier to the result of any charge or pursuit roll that they make. And finally, we got the Demons of Tzeentch. So Demons of Tzeentch have hatred Demons of Nurgle special rule. In addition, Demons of Tzeentch, that is also a wizard, may apply a +1 modifier to any casting roll they make. So your level 4 wizard will cast like a level 5, your level 1 will cast like a level 2, and so on and so forth. So let's talk about the demonic armory now. Obviously, special items do exist, and they are linked up to your specific, god alignment and so on. So the Hellblade exists, and this is strength as normal, -1 AP and cleaving blow. That's for Demons of Khorne. The Plague Sword for Demons of Nurgle is here. That's, again, normal strength. Armor Bane 1, but regeneration saves are not permitted against any attack by a Plague Sword, which is kind of cool. Death Heads are another thing again, so range 2, strength +1, -1 AP, move and shoot, and multiple wounds D3. Piercing Claws for Slaanesh, so pretty much demonettes and stuff, strength is normal, -1 AP, Armor Bane 2, extra attacks 1 and requires 2 hands. You won't be using shields, but then again, I don't think Slaaneshi demons have ever historically had shields. Flames of Tzeentch for, Tzeentch, and that is a range weapon. Some of your guys will have range weapons. 18-inch range, strength 3, flaming attacks, multiple shots too, and quick shot too, which is pretty tasty. And finally, the Lamprey's Bite, which is once again on Tzeentch. Strength, normal, -1 AP, multiple wounds D3, and it only applies on stuff that is monsters. So you can only multiple wound stuff on, rat ogres going upwards, right? I mean, the Armory is just pretty much your baseline weapons. It's stuff that you're going to be using on your core, special, and rare troops, but it's important to know, especially since some of them do have some special rules there, and, well, you'll be able to do quite a lot of damage. Alright, we're going to talk about magic now. So with Nurgle demons, you'll be able to take battle magic, demonology, and dark magic. This is the same for your Great Unclean One as also your Demonic Herald. Now, with Slaanesh, you'll be able to take the Law of Demonology, dark magic, and illusion. That's the same thing with your Herald also. And with Tzeentch, you get a little bit more options, obviously. So with Tzeentch, you'll be able to take the Law of Battle Magic, Demonology, Dark Magic, Elementalism, and Illusion. That is with your Greater Demon, as the same as your Demonic Herald. Keep in mind that some Tzeentchian troops can also take spells also. And then there's 4 spells which are available in the Lore of Demons. Now keep in mind that this is also tied to alignment, so the Demons of Nurgle can only use that spell, the Demons of Slaanesh can only use another one, and there's 2 for Tzeentch, naturally none for Khorne because, well, no magic for Khorne. So let's talk about the spells. We've got the Plague Wind for the Demons of Nurgle, which is the magical vortex, casting value of 7+, and range of 12 inches. This is a remains in place spell. Place a small 3-inch blast template so its center of the hole is within the 12 inches of the caster. Whilst in play, the template is being treated as dangerous terrain. The template moves d6 in a random direction during every starter turn subphase. Any unit, friend or foe, but not including the Demons of Nurgle, that the template touches, or if they move over it, suffer a -1 modifier to their toughness characteristic for the remainder of the turn. For the Demons of Slaanesh, we have Cacophonic Hymn. So this is a hex, and it's a casting value of 10+, 12 inches, and remains in play. If this spell is cast, the effects of any enchantment spell previously cast on the target unit immediately expire. In addition, whilst the spell is in play, the target unit becomes subject to the Stupidity special rule. It's not too bad, it's only one spell. It's one of these things where I don't like. Tzeentch obviously get the bonus here, where they get Pink Fire, which is Magic Missile, casting value of 8+, and a range of 18 inches. The target enemy unit suffers D3 + 3 Strength 3 hits, each with an AP of -, and with the Flaming Attack special rule. And they also get the Gift of Mutation, Hex, casting value of 8+ or 12+, because this one can be expanded upon, and a range of 12 inches. If the spell is cast with a casting result of 8 or more, the target enemy unit suffers a -D3 modifier to one of the following characteristics to a minimum of 1 chosen by the casting player. This would be weapon skill, strength, or toughness. If the casting value is 12 or more, though, you can do it to 2 of the following characteristics to a minimum of 1. And this lasts for a full turn. weapon skill and strength or toughness. So yeah, pretty strong. Again, really cool spells. Really disappointing that we don't have full laws. I'm hoping this is something that changes in the future. Obviously not for the Demons of Chaos because they're a legacy faction and we won't see anything for them in the time being. You never know for the future. But I don't like these unique laws being really tiny because it really strips away the fantasy of certain magic, I guess. I don't like to say this, but I've been saying it in every faction focus video. It's just, I don't know, I like full laws. But we're going to take advantage now and talk about the pros and the cons. The pro is there's no Gods table, if you remember that from 8th edition, which just completely screwed over your ability to play as the Demons of Chaos. So yeah, Demons are playable now. If you never played 8th edition, for example, there is a table there which you would roll on, and it would sometimes just do more damage to you than it was worth it. It was just bad. So yeah, Demons are playable. Mono-godless are completely possible, which means that you pretty much get 5 different factions here. You can get Undivided or you can go mono-god. I like that because the theming is there and it allows you to play around with as much as you may have. Demons are iconic and it's just kind of weird that, well, them and everyone else is just kind of left out for the 1st edition. You never know for the future. They've said that it's not going to happen, but then again, we've historically seen Games Workshop go back on their word before, so hey, you never know. Hopefully this does well enough to warrant that. My only real negative, and I think that's more of a personal thing, is no Plague Toads. Yeah, or Pox Riders. It's super weird because I got a bunch of the Toads, right? Both unmounted and mounted with Plague Bearers. These were in Temacon. Why add in basically 2 new units for the Demons of Tzeentch, but not add in the Toads, man? The Toads were really cool, some of the best models, and I don't think they're getting reused for Age of Sigmar, so yeah, man, Plague Toads. All in all, I like the Demons. I'll be running a few Monogod Demon List battle reports soon. I've actually been, well, I can talk to you about it now. I've been working on a Monogod Demons of Nurgle list, with a Plague Hulk of Nurgle being used as a Soul Grinder. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to show you the army. It's almost done, and yeah, I'm super excited. I love Demons, man. I've just really happy to finally be able to use them again. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's start a bit of a discussion. And yeah, let's talk soon.